I actually have no idea how to use a bow and arrow. The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. I saw this early. I frickin' shit my pants when I realized I could. It's not early by much, it's really just a couple hours, but I still saw it early. So there's Jennifer Lawrence, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Julianne Moore, Donald Sutherland, Liam Hemsworth, Josh Hutcherson, and as the technically last installment, even though they chopped it up, put it into 2 movies, and sometimes that can work pretty well. You know, Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2 seemed like it fit really well. And then there's like Twilight, where the first movie is just sex and chess, second movie, yeah. And this movie, like with the last one, was directed by Francis Lawrence. And this movie is very good. I'm not going to try hide it till the end and say, and after all this, I will tell you that it's for sure good. It is good, okay? This movie is very good. I liked the first one, but I thought it had problems with the direction. Francis Lawrence in the second movie made my favorite of the franchise so far with Catching Fire. Well directed, the cool Hunger Games settings and all that. It was all very well done. And this movie is too, even though when some people will probably be divided, I feel like this will be a movie that divides people like, nothing actually happened. There was no Hunger Games. People didn't run around shooting arrows at people every 10 seconds. But this is a really good movie. In this movie, Katniss has just recovered from the events of the last movie where she kind of caused the uprising and destroyed the games, and District 13 has been destroyed. The Capitol is destroying things. People are becoming more oppressed than ever before, but at the same time they're uprising because of Katniss. She's inspired everyone. And so Philip Seymour Hoffman and Julianne Moore, they want to use her to be this Mockingjay symbol to help cause the uprising, unite all the districts together to uprise against the Capitol and take them down once and for all. And with that you get some physical attacks, like let's go destroy this little thing of theirs and uprise. Yeah! And then sometimes you get just little propaganda pieces, which was interesting. A lot of this movie deals with the propaganda to help inspire everyone. I like that. It was an interesting thing to just, no, they don't just go and shoot everyone. It's like, no, let's make up some propaganda, just some videos to get everyone all amped up and inspired, because propaganda works. That's the thing I feel like is this movie isn't necessarily like the other two. This one's a lot more dramatic, less action going on throughout the whole movie, and I like that. And Francis Lawrence returning to direct, he brought the same good direction and style to the movie, and I thought it helped. And I hope he comes on for the last one, because he's doing a really good job with the series. Jennifer Lawrence does amazing, okay? There's no doubt about it. She's awesome as Katniss, and what I like in this movie is, in the previous two, she's been, you get it, she's kind of vulnerable, but for the most part, she's very hard-ass, tough, badass chick. In this one, she is a lot more vulnerable because of what she's lost and all that. Peeta, they never got Peeta, so he's basically in the custody of the Capitol, and because of that, she is very vulnerable and not just constantly, we're gonna fight and we're gonna go kill him. Let me grab my bow and we'll go shoot President Snow in the face. It's not like she's doing that the whole movie. This is her most dramatic performance in all 3 of the movies, and I appreciate it kind of the most. And my only problem with it is kind of dealing with the story and stuff is, I'm not sure if it's the same in the books, but in the first 2 movies, Peeta was kind of like the guy in the friend zone, like, oh, he wishes he could be with Katniss and he's just never got a chance because she likes Gale, but you kind of feel like, maybe. In this one, it feels like she cares so much about Peeta because he is technically hostage, that Gale, who she's actually able to spend time with in this movie, is kind of pushed off to the side, like, yeah, and forget about Gale, even though he's right there. So them two, as like the couple they were, I've never felt like they really did love each other. And so it felt a little jarring when in the first 2 movies you get that she cares about Peeta, but in this one it's like she really, really does, like they were boyfriend-girlfriend the whole time. It's like, because it's bringing in elements I don't like where it's love triangle, and it's bringing in those elements so it's annoying me a little, but not to say I completely hate it. Philip Seymour Hoffman in this movie, when I first saw him I felt sad because we don't get to see him in movies anymore, and I felt sad about that. But he's really good in it though. Philip Seymour Hoffman is fantastic in this movie. He's really good, as is Julianne Moore. Fun fact, they were both in Boogie Nights. Just thought I'd mention that in a Hunger Games review. No one who saw the Hunger Games even saw Boogie Nights. Those teenagers ain't seeing Mark Wahlberg. I'm gonna be a star, Jack. I'm gonna be a big, bright, shining star. My name's Dirk Diggler. And a lot of the previous cast comes back. You got her sister, Finnick, all the survivors and such that lived. It's nice to see them again. Woody Harrelson's back and a little different, as is Elizabeth Banks' character. She's pretty different. So what action there was in this movie was done really well. The drama's all really well told. I like where this movie goes, and it does feel like something where first half's going to be a lot of setup and this and that, you know, the propaganda to get everyone inspired, and it feels like second half is where it's finally going to unfold and everyone's just going to go to war. That's what it does feel like. But I never hated this movie. I was into this movie the whole time, and I don't quite like it as much as Catching Fire, because I think Catching Fire is a little bit better of a movie. I think this one is still, Francis Lawrence is still doing a really good job. This is still a really good movie. And there's some haunting images in it. There's one where you see like the bombed out District 13, and it's haunting. It's creepy, it's disturbing, and I like that he's bringing in these dark elements. My only problem with the movie is, in a way, nothing does happen. As I said, it is a propaganda battle. It's not a battle of who's got more weapons to shoot at each other. It's a battle of propaganda, and that's what Candace is doing, is they gotta get everyone hyped up and unite them together to face the Capitol and destroy them. So in a way, it's like nothing happens. I get it, but at the same time, it's all the behind-the-scenes stuff. With every great war is a lot of uniting the people and amping them up and getting them invested to want to go fight. You think World War II would have happened without some people making short movies like, yeah, that Hitler, see? We're gonna knock him right in the jaw, see? Captain America, see? Like, that stuff has to happen too. It's like things like out of the Holocaust. It's very creepy and haunting to look at, and so I appreciate that, and it works really well. There's a couple moments in this movie I got goosebumps. Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. It's really good, as I said. Not the best in the series. I am even more and more just after this movie ended immediately. I was like, and now I gotta wait a year to see the last one. Dang it. It's a minor problem that there's not more action, considering the first two have a lot of action, but I don't hate it. I get it. It's split into two. First one's going to be more of the build-up, uniting everyone, and then the second half is where it's all going to pay off. There's going to be this huge fight. You know, you could cut a lot of stuff out of this movie and just add it with the second one and make a good, like, 2.5 hour, 3 hour Mockingjay. If they did that, it probably would be better. But I still like this movie a lot. I'd give it an A-. I still really enjoy it. Francis Lawrence, I don't know if he is coming back for the second part. I really hope he is. I'm very excited to see that last one. So if you've seen Hunger Games Mockingjay, comment below, tell me what you thought of it. What do you think of the elements of, like, the fact that nothing happens, it's more propaganda? What's your thoughts on that? I'm going to do a spoiler review right after this. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.